Sure, sure.
प्रफुल्ल एडमिट कर लो, ये मेरा भाई है।
Good evening.
Good evening, Anil. We are waiting for Dr. Arvind to start. He just wants to take a minute or two.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are audible.
But I am not able to get your voice. I am not able to listen to anyone.
Even now?
क्या problem है?
अभी सुनाई पड़ा अनिल?
लगाना पड़ेगा।
So presenters Amit and Manik, when you have a presentation starts, make sure that you are unmuted. I'm going to mute everyone.
Sure.
Okay, sir, let's start. अमेरिका की खूबसूरत सुबह एवं भारत की निशा के मध्य एक नई आशा उमंग के साथ आप सभी का स्वागत एवं अभिनंदन। I, Arvind Singh, Assistant Professor, on the behalf of the IT Sindri family and especially Department of Mechanical Engineering and Chemical Engineering, welcome you all on the occasion of great event and initiation that will help to give a new shining way in the building of the career. Before we start our program, I wish to Ishwar keep you and your family members safe in this pandemic. This program is initiated by our distinguished alumni of 1972 batch. These are graduated from Chemical Engineering Department and Mechanical Engineering Departments. All these achieved the milestone in their careers. And after getting vast experience in the industry, even in other portfolios, they are here to give guidance to young minds of oldest institute of India and their alma maters, that is Sindri Dhanbad. In coming hours, all of you will interact with these experts. This interaction is the first step of this series. We will make so many interactions like that. Again, I welcome Praful Kumar sir, Mr. Ujjal Ritik sir, Mr. Anil Kumar Jha sir, and Mr. Amit Kumar sir. Now, I would like to invite Praful Kumar sir to say something. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Arvind, for giving this opportunity. We are here to help the students in achieving their life's dream. And that's why we have conducted sessions last year also on career guidance, and industry awareness sessions were conducted. Again, this year, we are going to conduct few sessions on this career guidance mock interview. And just to give you a little bit history, because several students who finished their GATE exam, we worked with them to have the group discussion and mock interviews, which is already progressing. But this is not just for them. This is for anyone who would like to have these sessions in future. After these seminars, they can be connected to us and we can continue helping you in that. Today, our presenters are Amit Kumar, and you already know his introduction, and Ujjwal Ritwik. These are the two presenters. And then Anil Jha and Madan Kumar Sinha will join as a panelist to answer your questions. So I'll hand it over to Amit and he can start. You can share your presentation, Amit.
Thank you, Praful. My screen is visible.
Not your presentation yet. Share your presentation.
Okay. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, so my friends, Praful, Ujjwal Ritwik, Anil Jha, Madan Sinha, faculty, Dr. Arvind Singh, and the students. We have embarked on a journey that is, very, very important to plan someone's future. We have tried to incorporate certain things that will be very, very helpful as per my own perception in your future life. Starting from the interview, we have already discussed about the group discussion, but then starting from the interview and going further. So I'll be making a very small presentation, and the entire presentation I'll send it to Dr. Arvind, who will be sharing with you, because there are certain action points that will be really helpful to you. So I'm starting now. So the topic here is preparing for interview. This is something that is very, very important as far as um, career is concerned, or as far as entry to an organization or industry is concerned. See, you already have gained knowledge, you already have become engineers, or are in the process of becoming engineers, so you know everything, the subject, etc. But then there are certain things that really need to be brushed up, that need to be properly taken into focus, so that you can prepare yourself according to that. So I have just listed some points, which is again from my own perception. So this is what I have said in way forward. These are the 8 attributes. Number 1 is the personal attribute. Number 2, describe yourself. Number 3, communication skill. Number 4 is subject knowledge. Then awareness about the organization, application of knowledge in the organization, your hobbies, and knowledge to practice. Now, personal attributes. What we mean is, number 1, your personal appearance. See, when you enter a room where interview is conducted, you will find that there are a number of people who are forming the interview book. Now, they will be judging you right from the time you enter that room. So your personal appearance has to be such that it pleases everyone. It has to be very, very appropriate for that particular interview. This see, for instance, if you are wearing an attire which is very flashy, it may not be appropriate for that interview. And at the same time, if it is very, very sober, that also is not appropriate. So you have to have a proper attire which is formal and also a bit informal, and that which gives an impression that okay, you are serious for this particular interview. Then the second one is body language. You have to behave. Your body language has to be very positive, although there might be some butterflies in the stomach because you will be facing an interview. You do not know how the panel will, interview board will ask you questions, and what type of questions are they going to ask you. So there will be uncertainties and there will be butterflies in your stomach. This is perfectly all right. Butterflies have to be there. But the thing is, you don't have to be overwhelmed by the butterflies. You have to just overcome that sensation that the butterflies are within you. Let it remain there. Don't pay attention to that. And then third one is the personal conduct. So personal conduct is when you behave in the interview room in a uh, again I'm saying appropriate manner. See, there are certain people who have a habit of holding pen in the hand or fiddling with that pen. Someone is holding a notepad and again fiddling with the notepad. Someone is even the hands are properly clasped and in the lap they would be moving those hands, someone would be moving their legs, shaking their legs, and all these things, these are not appropriate behavior in front of the interview board. Therefore you have to inculcate, you have to find out what could be the best personal conduct within the personal attributes. So this is, I have just given in the form of capsules that you can just go through and you can just practice, because these are going to help you. Now second one comes to describe yourself. So when it comes to describing yourself, you be very forthright. You have to tell about what you have done, what are your achievements, and what are your strengths, because that is the point where which you need to highlight. And if at all you have to mention some weakness, convert them into strengths. Take it as challenge and convert them into strengths, so that the interview board also feels satisfied that you have got certain things within you, or you have got certain confidence in you that you can convert these weaknesses. You can address these weaknesses, you can admit and then convert them into strengths. Then comes communication skill. See, communication skill, we all know what do we mean by communication. In simple terms, I'll just say that communication is expressing your thoughts in clear and defined words. So, what do you think? You have to think in great and clear manner and then describe, express them in clear and lucid manner. I mean, there has to be no ifs and buts, something like that. So whatever you say it with conviction, with confidence, and in clear and lucid expression. Second one, people generally make a mistake that they consider that if we are using complex words or we are using complex sentences, we are going to impress the people. But no, this is absolutely wrong. If you use simple sentences, avoid using complex words, you will be more effective. And the interview board also expects these type of things. Then I have given number 4 to the subject knowledge. The subject knowledge is your studies in engineering. You have to prepare thoroughly whatever you have studied. You don't know what the interview board is going to ask you. So you have to prepare. And then interview board generally asks about what exactly is your forte, what exactly is your favorite subject. Now this is an area, this is the opportunity, this is the moment, this is the opportunity when you can say that you are comfortable in such and such subjects. And then naturally, when you say that you are comfortable in that subject, you want or you have prepared for that particular subject in great detail, or that particular chapter in great detail. So interview board would always like ask you from that. So you have to identify your comfort zone as far as your knowledge goes. But one thing is very sure, that when you are facing the first interview, first job interview, I would say, inductment, then you have to rely on your knowledge, because knowledge is something that gives you a way forward and entry point. Then comes awareness about the organization. Now we have to understand that any organization that exists works on the principle of commerce. What do I mean by commerce is that whenever an organization is set up, some amount of investment is done, and it is expected that the organization would always return its investment and maximize value to the shareholders. So you have to have that information. You have to know what is the nature of job that particular organization is doing and how that organization is doing those activities. What is the position of that organization in the overall industry? If possible, just find out what is the vision of the organization, because vision is the very reason of existence of an organization. Because vision statement is maybe a sentence or two sentence, but it defines the organization in totality. And then just find out what is the strength of the organization. Maybe some organization would say that their strength is their manpower. Some would say that their equipment, like that. So these are the things that you need to find out before you appear for the interview. Then would come, how would you apply your knowledge in the working of the organization? So here you have to think in terms of converting your knowledge, your theory into practice. So for that, it is required that you must visit any industry in your area where you can find out what is going on and how are they doing. See, for instance, there is a difference in working of a refinery, in working of a steel plant, in working of a power plant, and in working of a oil producing company. So these are all different companies. So you have to study and if possible visit as many organizations as possible so that you are familiar with equipment, manpower, and how is it working. So this is for application of knowledge in the organization. And then you can correlate. Then comes hobbies. Now hobbies is a question. Generally interview board always asks what are your hobbies. So when you say about a hobby, you have to know why are you pursuing that hobby, what satisfaction are you getting from that particular hobby, and then related to that hobby there might be a question. I'll just tell you one question that was asked of me in one of the interviews was that what is your hobby. When I said photography, I was asked, okay, you are given two photographs, how would you know which photograph is better? So the answer was just enlarge. The one which is sharp is a good photograph, and the one which gets blurred is a bad photograph. So these are the knowledge. Just saying that I have this hobby is not sufficient. You have to have some knowledge also. And then number 8 is knowledge to practice. This is required for your personal growth, ability to correlate knowledge and practice in the organization in real-time situations. And when you know these things, you can innovate also. So this is where I'm just going to stop, because knowledge to practice, this is very long list, and I would just urge all of you to go through the presentation in its entirety and find out what are the way forward in knowledge to practice, because that is going to help you really very much. So with that, I would conclude here. Thank you very much. So Praful, that's all from my side.
Yeah, so Ujjwal, Ritvik will continue from here and he will share his slides. So you can.
Yes, sure.
Namaskar, everyone. Good evening. And my name, as I have been introduced, is Ujjwal Ritvik. I passed out from BIT Sindri back in 1977 and worked in chemical engineering branch. I'll be complementing, completing the parts that are specific to you in this webinar, where Mr. Amit Kumar has left. But at this point of time, maybe Praful, can we take some questions before we or we keep it for the later part?
Let's keep the question after 10 minutes. We have requested everyone to put the questions in the chat box. and I expect that to be there. And once
Mhm.
that questions are there, then Dr. Arvind will ask those questions to us, and he will facilitate the questioning and answering session at the end. So go ahead with your presentation, and Dr. Arvind will put in the chat box also to start sending their questions.
Okay, that would be fine. So can you see my screen?
Yes,
Okay, wonderful. And everyone I mean, you can hear me properly. I'm audible.
yes, we can hear you.
Great. Okay, welcome all of you once again. What I'm going to do is that in a kind of a rushed way, because this is a webinar and we don't want to bore you with too much of kind of written information. We will keep it for question answer uh, for your queries. However, we understand that some of you are already prepared for interviews, and some of you are yet to, work on this. So, at this point of time, I will assume that many of you are going to face your first interview. So those of you who are veteran can always, bypass those information. First of all, as just now Mr. Kumar told, Mr. Amit Kumar, that anxiety, being nervous, is very natural, whether it is my first interview or sometime my first marriage or sometime, anything first we do in our life, we get nervous. This is but natural. This is nervousness is being human. So how to negotiate that? How to work against that? Work it for us to our benefit. And one thing that you see here in red in number 4, that be prepared. This is the most important thing. Now, if suppose you are going from your house to the next tea shop and you are going 2 times a day or 3 times a week, whatever, you are so familiar, but just remember the first day you went to that tea shop, you were slightly nervous, slightly in the sense that possibly whether I would reach, somebody told me that there is a good tea shop, and you were a little anxious. I won't say nervous, you were a little anxious. But once you started going there, you became prepared. And that's what we are talking about, interviews also, or rather for anything that you need to be ready with. So, another point is number 5, that there is, I mean, interviewers are there sitting in front of you, and you are going there. And between the two of you, they can ask you anything under the sun. The knowledge could be, the questions could be huge. But fortunately, there are a limited set of questions, maybe 15, 20 non-technical questions and 20, 25 technical questions belonging to your area, be it mechanical engineering or be it chemical engineering, be it civil engineering. There would be about 20 to 25 some generic questions that you should be preparing very, very well. And these are limited set, and you can be very sure that most of these interviews, which are 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour interviews, they would definitely ask you from this question bank some questions. So be prepared. Preparation that way becomes easy. Then be honest, be to yourself. Just now, Mr. Kumar also told that you have to be honest. It is okay to say, I don't know. Be direct, be to the point. Long answers are never, no, I mean, it may be your, it may kind of work against you if you are giving long answers. To build your confidence, it is a good idea to practice on your video phone. In our times, there was nothing like that. So we used to have friends or relatives whom we can depend on their honest feedback. But now you have mobile phone. You just record your, responses, play it back, improve upon it. Maybe you can take even feedback from others. Now, I have some tips to conquer anxiety. In fact, there are too many, but I'm not going to read them out. As we have promised, I'll share you with Mr. Dr. Arvind the presentation you can always look into. But one thing I want to focus on is that take the interview, each interview event as a conversation, as a, you are talking to, again, it is, we are not telling that to, something very informal, but this is a formal conversation with some people who are interested in you. They have not called you just like that to waste their time. They are interested in you. So you have to show them that, yes, you are also equally interested. And this way, two-way conversation has to be there, which is also known as sometime, interesting storytelling. There are many tips that I can keep on talking on and on and on, but I'm just picking a few of them that is written here. For example, one of the calming method is, many of you are already aware, breathing exercise. Now, deep breathing, sometime even listening to music before you enter the interview. Or sometimes some people, they chant mantras. It's perfectly all right if it calms you down. Sometime doing some pep talk to yourself, talking to yourself that, yes, you are good enough for this company. Think of interview as a conversation. This is what I have been telling. And again, I will, repeat that. I'll keep repeating that. Then another thing that I will spend a little more time is tips for virtual interview. Now, we are all living in a virtual world nowadays. And virtual world should not be, seen as a dream world. No, you are seeing me talking. You are listening me talking. You are reading my body language. Just now, Mr. Amit Kumar told. You are reading my voice quality, voice up and down. This is a real world. Although it is called virtual interview, but this is a real world. It's not a dream world. First thing that you need to ensure is reliable internet connection. There is no excuse for that. And there could be some way outs. You can work out your way. If many of you may not have good Wi-Fi or broadbands, there are some of the pointers here, but let me tell you point blank, no one is going to have any, give you any credit for that, sir, what can I do? My internet is not good. If they don't listen to you, if they don't see you, they will, you are, already out. So it is your responsibility that you have to do it properly. I mean, the internet. Next is, many people ask, should I use my built-in laptop microphone? Again, it is your call. You need to make sure that you have right voice quality. If you are able to listen to me right now, that means my voice quality is okay. I can use many times laptops, many good laptops have got very good microphone. Possibly you have to be close to the microphone, but you have to decide in advance. The advice is that you need to, better you have a good microphone, uh, a collar microphone or something could be a good idea. Ensure good hardware and compatible software. You cannot say that, no, sir, I am not able to download Zoom because of this. I mean, Zoom, possibly you don't even have to download, but you need to have proper software and proper hardware also. That means your PC should be reliable. And at this point, let me tell you that avoid video interview on mobile phones, because the screen size is small, and you may not be able to see everything that interviewer is, I mean, their body language, etc. So it is better to avoid mobile phones for video interviews. How should I take notes? The best way is that you tell upfront the interviewer that you are taking notes. And it is always good to use pen and paper rather than typing it, because when you are typing it, there will be noise that the microphone would pick up, and it is kind of distracting. Where should I look? Always look right in the camera, because that means you will be having an eye contact, most likely an eye contact with the interviewer. This is what you do in physical interview also. You have to establish an eye contact. So look into the camera. Now sometimes what happens that, the interviewer window is at a different location, camera is at a different location, there could be a, distance. So better keep this window next to the camera. And I have given some further pointer below that. What I should wear? You should wear exactly what otherwise you would have in your physical interview. This is what is required. It has to be comfortable. It need not be, just now Mr. Amit Kumar has told, a suit jacket may not be required. However, it has to be, comfortable, formal, but casuals and kurta pajama, ethnic t-shirts, etc., they are not preferred. Should I use a virtual background? Many times people, they think that, okay, virtual, unless otherwise you have something very, very state of art, technology for using virtual background. Even in the best what is available right now, what I have seen personally, that when people, they move their, body, the virtual background picks up something, different. So it is better not to use virtual background. Another issue is that it distracts. when 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 I'm seeing you and there are so many things kept in the background, then uh, it is distracting sometimes. So it is better to use a plain wall, plain background, and that is further explained in item number 8. How do I handle small talks in the beginning? Again, I have given some tips. Go only to the extent that the interviewer is going. Don't start from your end anything new. And what is essential virtual interview tip? Good rule of thumb is that act as if you are in actual interview. In actual, and Mr. Amit Kumar has just now told you. Now I was talking about most common interview questions. I have given you some 50 or 37 most common interview questions. If you are first timer, or even sometime, I mean, even if you're repeating, you are veteran interviewee. And I have given some when you are going for a job change, which may not apply you at this point. And these are some of the questions that Mr. Kumar also, he talked about. that you need to be fully prepared with. Now, I'm not giving, let's say, technical questions. Technical questions, from where they come? Technical questions come from what you talk about. They just don't catch from nowhere unless you are completely silent there in the interview. Then they have to get these questions, technical questions, from nowhere, from their mind. However, most of the time, the technical questions will come from what you have talked about yourself. Yes, I did an internship there in a steel plant. Okay, now talk about a steel plant. Now, when you start talking about steel plant, if you are a chemical engineer, naturally you will be taken to the chemical processes, kinetics, thermodynamics, unit operations, those things belonging to that plant, you must know. There is no excuse for that. If you don't know, you have gone to the extent of border of your knowledge, you can always say, sir, at this point of time, beyond this, I do not remember, I don't know. Or even sometimes we did not study. It's being honest is better than trying to do something, tell something which you are not aware of. So always try to take the interviewers to your strong strengths, where you know, where you, for example, if something is let's say a urea reactor you are talking of, a fertilizer plant, you have done an internship, and you are being asked that, okay, now talk about this, now talk about that, how is this reaction? Last time, uh, in one of the mock interviews, we have been talking about this, whether it is exothermic or endothermic, what is the type of reaction? Now, we were very happy to listen to the interviewee when the person told that, no, I do not know beyond this. That was good. Instead of trying to make up some answer at that point of time, or it could be told that, look, I know this much, possibly this could be the answer, but honestly speaking, I don't know. So you have to take, or you have to expect the questions, technical questions, from what you feed them. And one question which Mr. Amit Kumar also talked about is how to answer, tell me about yourself. 90% chances are there that you will be asked this question, and you have to prepare. Now, I just want to add what Mr. Amit Kumar told is that this is your time. No sooner somebody asks you, the interviewer, now Mr. or Miss so-and-so, talk about yourself. This is your 2 minutes TV advertisement. TV advertisement. Whether you treat it like that you are selling a BMW car, a 2-minute time slot is given to you. And if other person is ready to see you as a BMW. Now, when you are saying BMW, that does not mean you are talking about just the polish, just the look, just the popularity. No, you have to talk about that, how safe it is, how robust it is, how fast it is, what are the different properties, what different skill sets you have. And you have been given only 2 minutes. So you have to also talk about that, look, when it picks up the speed, then the brakes have to be done this way. Although it is like this, that means we are talking of some of the weaknesses also. But there is another, a secondary safety feature is there, so that it does not. So you talk about what? Talk about that you are working on your weaknesses, or you have a control over your weaknesses. You have understanding of your weaknesses. So this is the 2-minute time that you have been given. And some pointers are there. Uh, uh, Now, another thing, many times they will ask you, okay, Miss Purnima, or whatever you are, before we end, do you have any question? Now, many times people say, no, sir, thank you very much. I'm very happy. Or sometimes people, they say, okay, when I will hear from you. Or sometimes people say, how did my interview go? No, no, no. Do not waste this opportunity. And this is where I have given some pointers here that may help you what questions to ask during a job interview. And this is again an opportunity to you. You need to impress upon that, for example, what are some of the responsibilities of this job? No sooner you ask this question, they will understand your commitment. Questions that you should not ask are, how did I perform? What is the salary, etc., etc. They are waste of time. So with this, I will, close at this point of time. However, I can always get back if
Sure.
required. So Praful, back to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amit, and thank you, Ujjwal. Great presentation. And definitely will share these slides with Dr. Arvind and with the students. And don't feel that this is the only time we are doing this. This is going to continue for quite some time because finding a right job for you is called realizing your dream. And that's why you have come to your engineering college. You need to find your dream job. And in that, practice, practice, practice. Keep practicing as much as possible. We have opened our doors for mock interview preparation. Dr. Arvind knows it very well. Not many students are coming to take that opportunity and advantage of that opportunity. So please sign up. Please talk to Dr. Irwin. We are here to help you. If you practice well, definitely your interview will go very well. So, Dr. Irwin, if we have some questions, we can start going through that. You are on mute, Dr. Irwin. Yeah, please.
First of all, thank you so much, Amit sir and Ujjwal sir, for nice presentation. It will really help to students in their journey. Yes, sir, I have a lot of question. One question from the Manvendu Chemical Department. Sir, what is it mean by dress should be formal but not that formal?
So, Amit, can you answer that question? You talked about this. You are on mute.
Yeah, okay. What I said was you have to be formal, but not that informal. I didn't say not formal, informal. See, Ritvik also classified it that you do not require suit, coat, jacket, ties, and at the same time, no kurta pajama, ethnic wear, or t-shirts. See, I'll just tell you that there are people, young people, particularly the fresh graduates and all, they always commit this mistake of wearing a jeans or t-shirt while going into the interview board. Now, this is something, that gives an impression that the person who is coming for the interview is very casual in his or her approach. Therefore, you have to be properly dressed. What Mr. Ritvik said is that it has to be comfortable. You have to be very comfortable, but don't be too formal and don't be informal. So that is what I said. Don't be not very formal and not very informal. You have to be strike a balance between the two.
So
I
be
hope that.
comfortable. Yeah. So
Yeah.
be comfortable and have proper attire, which you will go in a face-to-face interview. And jeans and t-shirt is no. Kurta pajama is no. Have nice shirt, iron shirt, clean shirt, and proper clean shave and attire. Okay,
And
let's proceed.
this is there for virtual interview also, because
Yes.
as
For
long
any
as it
type.
is going to be a video interview,
Yes.
you have to be like that.
See, you
Possibly
can
you
just.
may not use perfume, but
No, no, I
You
like
have
to
to.
use perfume too. Okay, let's go to
Thank
next
you.
question. Yeah, let's go to
But
next
you
question.
you can just see that Praful, Ritvik, and myself, we are all putting on our jackets just to give you a feel as to how the interview board would be there, and or how you have to be there.
Next question. Yeah, please.
The question from the Kirti Kumari from the chemical engineering department. A chemical engineer should go for what type of internship and what is the right time in our college period to start move on internship, which could give them some experience regarding skills related to their department.
Okay, is Madan there? Can you answer this question, Madan? Can you unmute yourself?
Can you repeat the question, please? Sorry.
A chemical engineer should go for what type of internship and what is the right time in our college period to start move on internship, which could give some experience regarding skills related to their department.
So I think you already have a curriculum and you decide when students should be going for the internship. That is defined by you. But for me, if you ask me, then right time for going for internship will be somewhere towards the end of the third year and in the beginning of fourth year. Because later in the fourth year, final year, you'll be too busy to preparing for your final exams and all. Maybe you will not be very comfortable about learning at the site because in the office or wherever you go for the internship. So I think these are the, I mean, if you are having semesters, then the sixth and seventh semesters are the best time because you have some knowledge about the topics or the equipments or the things and it will help you in getting more and more on those topics or equipments or things what you will be facing there. So, and if you go very early, that time you are not very well prepared. You don't know about the background of those things, equipments or whatever. I mean, maybe the different areas. So it will not be very useful, I will say. So for me, if you ask me, then sixth and seventh semesters are the best.
Anil, you want to add anything in this from your side?
Yes, I think you should not miss any opportunity for industrial training or internship. And since the first year courses are mostly basics on the mathematics and physics and other things, but the second year onwards, when you get into the engineering courses, that is the right time. So maybe the summer vacation after the second year and after the third year, because as Mr. Madan told that the final year is very busy from all point of view. So you must go in the second year and the third year for the internship. That is the time. And you should not miss any opportunity. I would say that if you get a chance, you go after every semester, go to a new industry, have a just feel of it. If you spend 10 days, 15 days there and do something, that will be a great help in your career, in your interview. So that exposure is no match. I mean, whatever theoretical knowledge you may have, but if you are not having that industrial exposure, then your theoretical knowledge will not be suffice for your interview and further career growth.
Good.
Yeah. What I answered was for the
Madan,
internship.
let Ritvik answer. Yeah.
Okay.
I go by what Anil is telling, that you have to utilize whatever opportunity comes on your way. Rather, you have to, find out where are these internships available. Even if you have, some known people through some connections, if you are able to get. However, even at whatever time you do, you need to be very focused on knowing certain things. When you are going for industry, I'm talking of chemical engineers. When you talk of mechanical engineering, the field is slightly wider. But when you are going for a chemical engineering, internship, some issues are there that you must know whichever industry you have gone, like equipment, especially some of the important equipment, especially the reactor, the pumps, compressors, such things. You need to. Now what happens, I have gone in a similar this one, if I remember, sometime we go there and we find in the first 2-3 days that there is hardly anyone to take care of us. Nobody is there. We have been just said that, okay, go find out whatever you see. What will do? Even if I am third year, fourth year, this one, and I go there and come back, I hardly get anything. Let me be, frank with you. For example, when I went to lube oil unit of Baroni refinery way back, I don't know, it was 1973, 74, 75, sometime, I could not understand a thing. Later on only I could get that, okay, phenol extraction, etc., etc. However, visiting the plant was useless. So after a couple of days, we were just wasting our time in the canteen. That's it, because it was useless, and we had to give our attendance. I mean, we have to sign our attendance. Otherwise, we would not even have gone there. So you need to know, you need to be focused, and sometime, rather most of the time, if suppose there is nothing coming from the company, then you have to be self-motivated. And don't think that you have to know everything in that unit or that department or that this one. That will just waste your energy and time. Focus on, if you are a chemical engineer, focus on these things. Equipment, very important. And
Yeah,
that is what we are not told, at least in our time, we were not so much told about the practice part of the equipment. So this is my 2 bits.
yeah. I'll just add one more thing, that connect with the alumni in that industry and get some idea. We are here to help you. If you are going for an internship, what to look for, what to gain, all these things we can work it out. We can chalk out a plan for you that, okay, you are going for this internship, look for these things, it will going to help you in the industry. Okay, over to you, Dr. Arvind, for next question.
Thank you, sir. The question is how to identify our skills and give a start for it.
Amit, you want to go? You're on mute.
You said the skills, Dr. Arvind?
How to identify our skills and to give a start for it.
See, there is something known as SWOT analysis: strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat. Now, the strength, whatever skills you have learned or you have added, they form the part of your strength. You have to really think in terms of what have you gained and what special knowledge do you have. That will define your skills. So, and that, in fact, when you just think it over, you will find there are many things. And when you cross check with others, when you go through the literature, you will come to know that you possess that skill. And then that skill will be, utilized in the case of interview also, that Mr. Ritvik said that those 2 minutes would be there when you can just talk about your strength, which will say about the skills that you have. The skills can be, even knowing computer language, software, knowing certain other things, say some practical tips, etc. So these are the skills. I'm being very general. Am I clear? Have I answered correctly, or there is something more?
Okay, when we are talking of a skill, uh, here we are talking of as a someone has just come out of the college. We may or may not have so many, library of skills that
Yes.
yes, I know for, this also, I know that also. Especially this is true with, let's say, an IT person who may say that I have a skill set. I can talk about, I have, information technology. I do this program also. I can do some of a bit of this also. Especially for a chemical engineer or even for a mechanical engineer, it is difficult to say after fourth year or sometime in fourth year itself that, look, I have so much library of skills. It could be maybe three or four things. A few of other items could be in technical part, a few could be non-technical. Technical part you have already done, kind of you have, your great score or whatever you is there. You have university marks are there. So you have possibly already, but still you can talk about, or they may ask you about that, okay, are you good in which topic, which subject? They may ask you. So this is what we are talking of, technical skills. But if suppose you beef it up with some evidence based, for example, yes, sir, I got in transport phenomena or I in chemical engineering design, I got so much marks and I have really great interest in that. You beef it up with some evidence. I worked in, as an internship, I did this so and so. I have great. And on the other side, non-technical skills, that is what you can score above others. For instance, if your preparation is good, you can talk about some of the issues which will give you have a good communication skill, you have a good presentation skill, you have good writing skill, again, evidence based. I have been, I don't know if antenna is still being published. I am publishing, papers in Institute of Chemical Engineers journal, etc. So those skills, communication skills, presentation skills, my leadership skill, sports skill, I have been captain or I have been a good team member in the bridge game in the university or in the institute. So you evaluate, just now Mr. Amit Kumar told, your SWOT analysis, strength and weaknesses, and find out about those skills which you already possess. Regarding those where you are weak, you have to work hard, especially non-technical skills.
Generally,
Okay. Yeah.
I would
Let's go to
supplement with
Amit. Let's go to next question. We have only 5-10 minutes left, and there are many questions to go through. So
Okay,
let's
sure.
keep it brief, and let's go to the next question, Dr. Arvind.
From the Ritesh Kumar Jha. Sir, what could be impressive answer when they will ask why should I select you among the all candidates?
Okay, let me take this answer. So this is your salesmanship. This is your time. You are shining yourself and impressing your interviewer. So what are the things you can talk? And I can give you a few pointers. You may not remember everything at that point, but you need to connect with what they are looking for. Like in many times, if you are an experienced person, then you have a job description. You can tell, I can do this job. And that is a connecting that the company needs this work to be done as a process engineer or mechanical engineer. So you impress on how you can do or what you can do. Then this is the time, as we were talking about, to share your strength. What are the strengths like transport phenomena, thermodynamics, or whatever is connecting to that industry? If I'm going for a refinery uh, interview, I'll definitely talk about towers, pumps, compressors, and things like that. My strength on that. Then also we should have a clear indication of your commitment that you want to join this company, you are really committed, you are interested in joining this company, you have a commitment, and you can take it even further if you are at a senior level, that not only I can do very good for the company, I can help the company to grow. But I don't think in the initial interview we'll talk about that. So show your commitment that we are really interested in joining this company. And I think the overall purpose is that this is the salesmanship, this is your pitch. If you are selling a BMW car, as someone talked about, this is what you are selling yourself. And show your confidence in your answer, show your communication skills, show your listening skills and everything in that precise 2 minutes.
I would just like to add,
Yeah, go ahead.
you can say that I am technically strong, I have technical competence, and I am a team player. Because when you are a fresh graduate, they are looking at whether you are a team player or not. So you have to convince that you have a good technical competence and knowledge, you are a team player, and you are a hardworking person. And this company, you are sure that this company is going to give you great opportunity for doing this work, and you can grow along with the company. That, in short, should be what I presume is the correct answer.
Good. Let's go to next, because there are several questions
Yeah,
there.
sure.
The question is from the Subham. Should I prepare for GATE 2022 by taking a drop, assuming that vacancy from PSU will be released, or should I join the company in which I am placed?
Amit, you want to take this? Amit or Anil?
No, can you repeat the question?
Should I prepare
Arvind,
for
you have to come to near the mic. A lot of echo is coming.
okay. Should I prepare for GATE by taking a drop, assuming that vacancy from PSU will be released, or should I join the company in which I am placed?
That depends on the choice. I mean, how much do you value and how confident you are? But I think when the talk of the today's job market and the COVID times, the job market is difficult. So you must take the opportunity, first opportunity which is available, and join the company, and then look for the change a year later. Keep on trying GATE and everything else. People do change a job after 2 years, 3 years, or even after 1 year. I have seen when they find that this new company or new kind of a job is more suiting their skill sets, and that is what is their dream job. So initially you may not get a dream job, but you still should go and join that, because any job will give you a new set of skills which will be very, very useful in your future career. Instead of sitting at home and simply preparing for the GATE, it is always better to join somewhere and then start learning. I was telling the other day that even if you don't get a salary and somebody says, okay, you work here for 1 year, I will not give you salary, it is worth many lakhs of rupees, because that kind of experience and knowledge which you are getting, it is very difficult to get. So my suggestion would be that please go and join whatever opportunity you get and keep trying for what is your dream job.
Thank you, sir. We will take two more questions. One from the YouTuber, the Anupam Kumar Singh. How will we manage our nervousness during the interview when we are unable to give the answer of questions asked by the interviewers?
Ritvik, you want to take it? You talked about nervousness, so.
Yeah, I have given, I think, 13 points. Go through that. Okay, you asked me something. First of all, take nervousness, anxiety as a natural phenomenon. I was telling you, you are going to your wife, bride, right? First time. You have seen hundreds of movies. People, they are two new people, they are approaching each other. They are nervous, they are anxious. They have never seen or they have never known this close before. It is very natural. interviewer and interviewee, they are coming close. Interviewer is more relaxed because it is not a question of, such a huge issue for that person. So start from that point. But as I told earlier also, the very fact that they have asked you to come there, that means you are wanted person there. You are good, somebody who could be there in that company. And then there are many things that you can do. I mean, it is not a formula, and you need to rehearse, you need to practice. As I was giving you example, that you need to practice into to face the unknown. After a few rehearsals, the unknown becomes known. I think that is where I should stop.
Can I add?
Yeah, go ahead, Madan.
Sure, go ahead, Madan.
Yeah. So last time when we were talking to you all, I had suggested, here also I will tell you that if along with the academic curriculum, we train persons on public speaking. How to do that? I had suggested, and I had actually done it in my company, last company. There should be a regular, you can arrange a regular presentations by make it sort of compulsory for all the students. They should face the audience and present on anything they are comfortable. So that is where actually that will actually help in overcoming this nervousness and all. I mean, so and then there should be some question and answers at the end of each presentation. Presentation need not be very long. It may be 15-20 minutes, and then 10 minutes for question and answers. That is the breaking. That is the process of breaking the ice. I think I had talked very much on this topic last training course.
Sure.
I think over it. And here also, in this time also, when you don't have physically present available, you can arrange through web and all, Zoom and all platforms you can use and do this. Public speaking is a must to control your voice and continuity and the rhythm when you are talking.
True. Okay, Dr. Ravind, go ahead.
The last question, sir. Yeah. The question is from the Sunny Tirki. Sir, job is too important for every student. So please tell me how to face the rejection after working hard preparation for the interview.
Okay, I'll take it. So rejection is same as acceptance. These two things will happen in your life. They are the natural phenomena because if they have only 5 candidates to give the offer and there are 30 candidates are getting interviewed, so 25 will not get it. So what you will see that majority of times the number of selected candidates is less than the number of candidates who are not selected. It feels bad. I tell you, yes, definitely it feels bad. But should I just feel bad and do nothing? Or I need to do something so that next time the chance of rejection becomes less and less and I get selected? The key is that when you get rejection, that tells you that there are few things you can do to improve your performance next time. But how you come to that situation? Every interview, when we conduct this mock interview, we tell you every time what are the things you are weak and what are the things you are strong. I'll say again, practice, practice, practice. Unless you practice enough number of times, you will not be comfortable in facing the interview. And after you have finished the interview, even before they tell you whether you are selected or not, my recommendation to everyone will be that write your short note, your own evaluation. Write it down where you felt good, where you felt really tense or anxious, and where you think you didn't answer properly. Write it down. That's the first step. Recognition of your weakness or recognition of what you need to prepare, the first step. The second step, that you need to start working on those aspects, how you can improve on them. Again, practice, practice, practice. You will be very successful if you have practiced right from beginning. Thank you, Arvindji.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. We are taking two famous quote, one from the Michael Jordan: "Practice like you have never won, play like you have never lost." And the
True.
second quote from the famous Les Brown: "Always realize that you can get better. Your best work has not been done yet. Practice, practice, practice." And
Thank you.
thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
sir. Thank you so
and and
much.
and
There
one
is
more.
story of King Bruce and the spider. We all
Yes.
have read
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
So the failures are pillars of success. We all know that. So we have to only convert them into pillars of success. As Praful said, that we cannot simply sit and take the rejection, as we have to learn from that rejection and build our pillars so that we succeed next time.
And there is
So,
one
Dr.
more thing.
Arvind, we are ready for few more sessions if you want to conduct, because I see very good participation from the students and we are motivated. I see the YouTube channel here and I see the Zoom and everywhere. And there are a lot of questions. We haven't answered all the questions. So maybe these questions will take it for next time.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just, before you conclude, I'll just say that always believe in the principle, expect the unexpected.
True.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind time and from your busy schedule. Thank you, students, for such a nice participation. We will reconnect again in the coming days. Thank you. Thank you so much. Be
Thank
healthy,
you.
be
Thank you.
and yes.
I just want to repeat what Mr. Praful Kumar told in the beginning. Some of you possibly were not there. This is not the first time that we are doing this. This process started last year. And last year also, there was good participation. This year, several times we have announced that we are ready to conduct mock interviews and mock group discussion sessions, wherein we can give you feedback and give you some tips, help you. Unfortunately, so far, the participation this time has not been so so good. I want to use this platform that, encouraging you to come forward, register with Dr. Arvind or with your respective faculty members, and then we are ready to do anything, any help, whatever we can. So please come forward. I want to use this platform to encourage you. Please come forward.
Thank you.
Dr.
Thank
Arvind.
you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks everyone for joining. And we will have these sessions
दरवाजा
in
बंद
future
करता है उसे
also.
पता चलता है दरवाजा बंद करके रखता है उसे पता चलता है
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
everyone.
everybody.
Bye. Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a nice and good night, sir.